From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we're going to go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. This is the reconciliation. And this is what Bernie Sanders says, one of the biggest historic payouts of the American history. Lots of checks for all of you, including my workers and also my seniors. It's coming up in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the third part, the recon, the bipartisan. Go into a final vote in the next few days, done by the August recess, with the bipartisan set for a final vote this Saturday. I'll explain to you what's happening and everything you need to know across the board. It's incredible great news. Then we cut to the stimulus, which raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and VA benefits. And then we turn to the big money that viewers continue to give. And the breaking news today, one viewer got $50,000 from my videos. This is not EIDL. This is not EIDL grants. It's rent. It's utilities. It's food and internet. I'm going to go over all this exciting news because this is what I want you to get. It's a big afternoon and it's a big day. We have a lot of exciting breaking news. I'm so excited for you to join me. Let's get to it. Starting right here, right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day. You made it to the weekend, and guess what? This weekend will be dramatic, so you need to stay with me all weekend long because there will be voting on the two-path process this Saturday and Sunday. So stay with me all weekend long. You don't want to cash out and come back on Monday. You'll be confused by what happened. There's too much hate happening this weekend, so stay with me. But first, how's the weather? It's getting cooler here in Santa Monica. Temperatures are dropping. I'm loving it. The flowers are loving it. The purple's loving it. The periwinkle's loving it. I hope you're having wonderful weather as well. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuned in from and how's the weather. In this first stimulus check update of 2021 today, we have so much breaking news at Afternoons. We're going to go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. And remember, if you've been with this channel for a while, you've seen the big money that viewers are getting, $20,000, $30,000 from the videos of this channel. There'll be $3.5 trillion of that money for you again under fourth stimulus, and I'll be getting you that money as well. Then we cut to the vote-in, and one of the bills is ready for a vote tomorrow. I'll go over which bill that is and what's happening with your vote as well. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. This is that SSI and SSDI reform that includes VA that you're hoping for. It's happening this fall. And then this. Breaking news at Afternoons LA. Mark, a viewer of this channel, has now gotten over $50,000 because of watching this channel. There was a $1,400 third stimulus check. I told viewers, don't focus on the check, focus on the money I can get you. Mark took that and understood it and ran with it and got $50,000. He joins Nisi, who got $23,000, the other Mark, who got $32,000, and Nancy, who got $32,000. And this is LALATE. America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week, financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Evenings LALATE. And boy, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. You see why, because people are making fortunes by watching this channel. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you learn how to become a Purple Hawk and get fortunes from all these stimulus packages. Not a $1,400 stimulus check, $50,000. Let's cut to the breaking news starting right now. Fourth stimulus heating up with that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats represent. They're going to be giving you House versus Senate, Senate versus House. Let's go over the details starting right now. When you look at the two payouts, they're slightly different on the number of checks and the payouts. First, House, pandemic plus 1 year. Senate, July to December. Let's go over the monthlies. House, $1,000 after the first month of $2,000. Senate, monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you something. I'm looking for the graphic. They'll just pay you something. Here it is. Deliciousness. It's delicious when you can find it. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Also, happy birthday. I have a lot of viewers who are having birthdays today. So jump in the live chat if you're there and tag me. I want to wish you a happy birthday as well. Well, the pandemic is far from over, and we now know that the first strain is not over. We're now dealing with Delta, Delta Plus, and also Lambda. And with that, the pandemic is far from over. So the House bill would likely pay its full payout, which is more than 1 year, which is more than 12 checks, which is more from the House than $13,000. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from this beautiful afternoon. And how's the weather? Who gets a fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check if you got a third. Single individual, 75,000 less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four. Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check will be the same for adult dependents and children as well. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. And I learned that, unfortunately, 2 weeks ago when I was on the beach. And I think I'll record live on the beach maybe this weekend as well. I'll have some fun with you as well. And I was recording live. Viewer said, LALATE, is that the check behind you? I'm like, where? Oh, it is the check. The viewer said, wave at the check. I'm like, really? Really? Yeah, go wave at the check. I waved and the check did not wave back. I said, see, it's a rude check. I told you. The viewer said, no, LA, it's not a waivable check. I've seen your videos. Smart person. There you go. The fourth stimulus recon heats up, with Bernie Sanders calling this a historic day for the American people. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. And trust me, if I'm giving you $30,000 on the third stimulus, guess how much money I'm giving you on a fourth stimulus? $3.5 trillion of checks I'm going to be getting you and the Purple Hawks. Hawk. If you've not joined as a Purple Hawk, join right now. It's coming up in the second half of this video. I'll go over those checks all for you. Then we go over the bills, the voting, and the dates you need to know. It's happening this weekend. Yes, on Saturday, a major piece of legislation of the two-path process is going for a vote. So you need to stay with me all weekend long, because they're not taking a break. They're not being allowed to take a break. They're taking a break on Friday because of one of the senator's recent deaths, so they're going to the funeral. But that's about it, and they're still working away. That's coming up in the third half of this video. Then we got the fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. This is what the president promised for you as well. But first, let's get some money and get that pen and paper ready, because I'm going to get you some rent, some utilities, some mortgage, some utility assistance. And when I started recording these videos a few weeks ago, I said I can get you, $5,000 of rent, approximately 4 to 6 months of rent. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I couldn't get you $5,000. I got you $27,000. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Incredible. Mark got $25,000 for rent. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. Nisi got $22,000. Countless other viewers as well. Pamela got $12,000. Carla got utilities. Tiffany got $13,000 for rent and other monies. Randy got $6,000 for rent and other monies. Jennifer got rent, $5,000. Cecilia got money as well. Incredible. Then when I talked about utilities, I said I could get you $300 of utilities. I was wrong. I was not able to give viewers $300 of utilities. I wasn't able to get them, $302. I was able to get them $7,000 of utilities. Oh my goodness, incredible. Nancy got $7,000 for utilities. Mark got $6,000, and Angela got $5,000. And then when we turned to Snap, I said, well, maybe some viewers are getting $5,000 to $6,000. Maybe others can get that as well. Well, that was then. Look at these numbers now. Unbelievable. Louis got $18,000 for Snap. John got $10,000 to $12,000 for Snap. And Nancy got $5,000. And if you've seen people get multiple sums of money, you're right. What have been the multiple winners on this channel? By watching this channel, by listening, by becoming a member of Purple Hawk, and understanding stimulus packages are more than just a stimulus check. They're these big payouts. Let's see the numbers. Wow, Nancy, $32,000. Got 3 items from this channel. Mark, $32,000 from 2 items. Nisi, $23,000. And boy, let's look at the grand total for Mark, $50,000 for Mark. Incredible. Mark has now gotten $50,000, $25,000 for rent, $6,500 for utilities, and $19,000 for SNAP. Incredible. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you if you got $100. I'm proud of you got $10,000. And this is LALATE. This is what we do here. Nowhere else you're going to find this on the planet. We're here to cash big sums of checks, and I've been doing this since day one. In spring of last year, I launched this channel to help people get their EIDL loans and EIDL grants approved because no one was helping them. No one was helping them. I stopped them forward, and I got them $25 million of EIDL loans approved. Got their businesses saved, their employees' businesses saved, and also their homes saved. But in fall of 2020, second stimulus checks were not coming. So there's no check to track. Couldn't say what day, when. Couldn't say that because it wasn't coming. I had to step forward and get people money. I got it. $250,000 of rent, like Tyrone and his family of four out of Boston paid all their rent the next spring. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. $32,000, $50,000. The numbers are off the chain. Get that pen and paper ready. It's time to get some money. Let's do it. Rent, utilities, food, internet. I'm going to go over all this big money. You're going to reach out to different places of different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. They have their different eligibility. They also have their own pots of money. Also listen to those keywords I mentioned in the video because viewers tell me it's helping getting them approved. Are you ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Mitch's lobster deliciousness. It's not that delicious. Have you had it? Yeah, you're not missing out. It's about as delicious as $12 ice cream. And there you go. Congratulations if you got rent or utilities. Post in live chat right now. Mark got it and Con got it. Excuse me. Michael got it and Lynn got it. It's hard to remember all these names. The next pot of the money is the money for SNAP. Boy, you just saw the success stories. Mark got $19,000 for SNAP. Louis got $18,000. John got that SNAP at $10,000 to $12,000. What is SNAP? It is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. What is the eligibility? Easier than a stimulus check. Go get it. And Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom, Gail, got it as well. Let's go over the incredible details starting right now. Where do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? Family of four out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Whoa, why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15% nationally between now and December. So go get it. You're killing it. $27,000 for rent, $7,000, $8,000 for utilities, $19,000 for SNAP, and we're only 12 minutes into the video. I got more money for you right now, and it's the money coming back from your states due to computer error and unemployment benefits. The federal government has ordered this money will return back to you. Some viewers have gotten $3,000, others have gotten $5,000. It's landing by direct deposit, but when? Reach out to your state to track the check and contact your state's unemployment department. Say, hi, where's that check due to overpayment and a computer error? And when you track it, can you actually turn on the computer this time? It just sort of works. And then finally, the refund check coming back from IRS. This incredible great news. Mark got this as well. I can't remember. I think he said $1,400. It's great news. Margaret got it as well. Ka got it. Michael got it. And the average waivable check. Did I say waivable? Sorry, Mitch. It's waivable. Yeah, you don't miss to offend you, Mitch, but this one is waivable. The average waivable check this wave is $1,265. Wow, deliciousness. Direct deposit started July 14th, and a paper check started July 16th. There's a new wave every week. But before we continue, let's go over something I have to personally say. If you're in the live chat, post your success stories right now. Success starts with just $1. If you got $1 for rent or $1 for utilities, post it right now. Because when you do it, you just really help this community. You help everyone. You help people you don't even know. That's the spirit of the Purple Power. The spirit of the Purple Power is love, kindness, and helping other people really get through this together. What happens? Number one, when you post your success stories, you inspire people. You inspire me. I mean, I'm inspired by even thinking that a video I turned on and pressed record helped get a family $50,000. And Mark actually tells me that he's now telling other people to come and watch my videos because this is where the big money is. So it inspires other people to go get those sums of money. Number two, you get updates about the numbers. So suddenly we realize these are big payouts for rent. These aren't $4. This is $20,000 for some viewers for rent. We saw Pamela got $12,000 and Tiffany got $13,000. It's not $100. It's a lot of money. It dwarfs a stimulus check. And then finally we see why it's important to get multiple sums of money. It started with Art Sullivan, who got 3, and Nisi, who got 3. Now we have Nancy, who got 3 at $32,000. We have Mark, who got 3 at $50,000. It's just incredible. And with that, let's go back to those unemployment benefits. How much? Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You pay $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yes. Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. It'll also reveal some stuff you didn't want to know, some stuff you wish you forgot to know. It'll reveal when Ron Portman was on Star Search. Did he do the lambada? And finally, we'll reveal the refund check you get back from IRS. Can we top that? We can. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Done deal. I'm really excited for you. I'm just ecstatic, and I hope you are as well. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in the fourth stimulus recon. If you've seen these videos where viewers are getting $20,000 from the third stimulus, and you're seeing people getting $15,000 from the second stimulus, imagine how much money you're going to get from the fourth stimulus when the price tag is $3.5 trillion. It's going to be a fortune. So let's go over all the incredible great news. How did they do this? Originally, the recon had roads and bridges in there, not passable by July 4th. Leader Schumer and Nancy Pelosi both represented we're going to be done by July 4th. They couldn't because roads and bridges in there. It was too big, and the Democrats said, I'm not going to vote for it. So they took the roads and bridges out of the recon, shrunk it, and put them into something called the bipartisan, making both that bipartisan and your recon now passable. The confirmation comes from conservative publication written days ago. It said the following. First, it said that the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing Democrats to take out some of the spending from the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon, some of the spending from the recon and put it into the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. But it's also vice versa. The recon also made the bipartisan passable. You see, once the recon was shrunk, the Democrat and the progressives were able to add some more stuff back in to make it big and bold, and that's the $3.5 trillion price tag. And why is this incredible? Because it's big and bold, and it's what they wanted to have to get everything paid out. Representative Elon Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, progressive, said, we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon, $3.5 trillion. And then Representative Richie Torres, Democrat of New York, said, we have to have a larger recon. You got it, $3.5 trillion. Congratulations. And the progressives were meeting with the White House daily to ensure their recon went big and bold enough as much as they wanted it to. How did they achieve this? By protecting the recon. The president had told them, you need to protect the recon. And Senator Brian Schatz, Democrat, progressive Hawaii, and Jalopal, Democrat, progressive Washington, confirmed the White House said everything that's in that recon is all checks for the American people, progressive checks. The White House, quote, the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon its own priorities. Wow, incredible, great news. And you see how the president has really now worked hand in hand with the progressives this week. We started the week with the president saying, the courts say I cannot extend the CDC eviction moratorium, so I'm ending it. Then the progressives, and namely Representative Bush, out of the 1st District of Missouri, St. Louis, yes, progressive and Democrat, said, no, Mr. President, you're wrong. I'm going to sit on the Capitol steps until you realize you're wrong. You can't sit back and worry about the courts. Let's take it to the Supreme Court. I think you should extend the eviction moratorium. She pushed back, and as a progressive, she got it done. And that's what movement and purple power means. Well, the great news is that is what recon is all about. Putting a lot of money in there for the American people. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is the difference between the words? Let's go over it starting right now. It was one of my favorite anchors on Thursday, Andrew Ross Sorkin, who appeared on news and referred to the recon as the $3.5 trillion infrastructure. No. And that's what's happening a lot, is that the broadcast media are getting confused with the terminology. So let me help you know the terminology. So if you hear it on air, you'll realize, wait, that's the wrong words. And it's happening 9 out of 10 times. First, I only use 2 terms on this channel, recon, your money, and bipartisan. But let's go over the other terms. So if you hear it on broadcast media, you realize they're using the wrong one. Here we go. Recon refers to your money, also the reconciliation. Price tag $3.5 trillion. People quote an article about it like a Bernie, an AOC, and Nancy. Bipartisan, not your money. This is roads and bridges. Also refers to the term infrastructure. Price tag less than 1.5 trillion. People quote an article about a bipartisan Kristen Sinema, Ron Portman, or Mitt Romney. Other word for recon is called the budget bill. And there you go. That's pretty easy. So who writes the recon? Who votes for the recon? Someone asked me this a few days ago, and I think it's sort of obvious, but I think I need to repeat as we get close to the finish line. The recon is written by Democrats, only for Democrats, and only to be passed by Democrats. Not a single GOP member will ever vote in favor of the recon. You don't have to worry about it because it's going to get passed by the Democrats. So who actually writes the reconciliation? It's written by House Ways and Means and other subcommittee members, which is not a lot of people. More about that later in this video. Under the Constitution, the different subcommittees of the House are delegated different subject matters. And this recon is written by those House subcommittee members, lead authors, with the Senate subcommittee members helping them. For example, the House Ways and Means subcommittee is responsible for stimulus checks writing and unemployment benefits writing. And when those different subcommittees are done, let's say we got 10 of them, they send their 10 pages up to the House leader, Schumer. And if it's 10 times 10, then it's 100 pages. He combines it and puts a big S on it for Laverne and Shirley. Salty. Sugary. Schumerish. No, for Senate. And that's your Senate recon bill. Before then, we have an emoji, not bill yet. It's important to understand that we do not have the recon yet. So no time or place to say, I haven't heard, I haven't seen, I haven't heard. Guess what? That's what broadcast media says is wrong, and I say it's as well. We don't have it because we don't have it. So if you haven't heard, it's because we don't have it. When the recon is actually debuted, it's important to understand that that's not a law yet. In fact, it will get modified extensively. More about that later in this video. So why are the Democrats not actually releasing the recon ahead of time? It's sort of like a pop singer who has an upcoming album. She doesn't release the album or songs ahead of time because, you know, what may happen is Mitch may start singing it on The View, and that sort of will kill the whole, you know. I don't think anyone would buy the album. There you go. Can we top that? Yeah, with some good cotton art here. Jalapal recently wrote Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon. And guess what? We're calling the vote on the recon within hours or days. This incredible great news because that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of the 100+ House Democrats, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Whoa, that is incredible great news. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 House Ways and Means subcommittee members, the ones you just mentioned, yep, recently wrote the president a letter saying we're going to be putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, that is incredible great news. Purple Power, you got to keep these people to their promise. They promise they're going to give you monthly fourth stimulus checks. But can we top that? We can. As the president has done it, Biden did it just about a few days ago. He signed into law an actual treaty that you saw him ceremonial sign about 6 weeks earlier. It's something that's confusing and exhausting to say. And that's why it's great news. It's not in the recon. It's exhausting. It's the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. Oh, can I go to bed now? It's just exhausting to say. Why is this great news? Number one, easier to write the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. Easier to call the vote on the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. Easier to vote on the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. And easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. And can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, so much breaking news you're hearing for the first time on Afternoons LA right now. We'll be going with the voting dates, the bills, the pass, and everything you need to know. Which one's going first? Which one's going second? And why is the excitement of the amendments really heating up? I have all that coming up in the next final 15 minutes of this video. Stay at the very end. And then we cut to Fistimos as well, with a lot of breaking economic news as well across the board. But first, something more, even more wonderful and delicious, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, food, or internet, reach out to them. If you try to find the money like yourself and you can't find it, don't worry, I got your back. And so do they. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down the description. You'll find the link to the community page. This will be an emoji of a house. Send you over to the community page. It's news.lalate.com/community. There's a picture of some kitty cats lower on the page of the volunteers. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and they'll help you get that big money. And I'll be back with you with exciting Final 15 with a lot of breaking news in just 60 seconds on Afternoons LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE as the surf is up and as we go into the final 15 minutes of this video. Direct from Santa Monica, California. Boy, this weekend's going to be a big weekend. They're calling votes on bills. So you cannot cash out and come back on Monday, say, what I missed. You will miss the sea of information. So stay with me all Saturday. It's going to be a big Saturday. I'll be live on air. I'll be taped. Brand new shows all Saturday long. All Sunday, brand new shows, new color shirts. Same hairstyle. So subscribe. 4,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Hit that subscribe button, the fastest growing channel of its kind. 400,000 in 1 year. I want you part of this incredible loving family. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay with this video. Coming up next after this video is Overnight's Crypto. Just stay on the video. It'll automatically take you to a brand new Overnight's Crypto tonight. Then at 5 o'clock is a brand new Evenings LALATE. It's going to be a big one. And then tonight is Sirloin as well. So subscribe, like the video, and consider becoming a member. When campaigning for president, Joe Biden has said that he was going to raise your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. He did not deliver. Then, in the transition papers between senator to president, he said he was going to do it again, and he didn't. So guess what? The Democratic senators and House members are taking care of this for you. This is what's called SSI reform. This is fifth stimulus. When? September is when they'd start legislating it, and then they would start calling it for a vote about November. So we're only about 30 days away from actually starting to see drafts of these things. And this is very exciting. This would get the benefit lift in your account by about November if they do it as they promise. And then the benchmark will be applied in December for next year's benefits. How does this work? Step one. They're going to raise your benefit limits up. Then they're going to remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over how this works starting right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up lifetime. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Then they'll apply the new benchmark. When? In December. How high? What will be the benchmark? Inflation. Where is it going? It's going to be transitory, says Jay Powell. Transitory is a fancy word for a temporary spike. It's going to be hot. And how hot is inflation? I've been reporting 5%. Wall Street's been saying 5%. It could actually go higher. There's a lot of economic data that came out today. New non-payroll starts. There was the jobless claims numbers yesterday. There was the trade imbalance numbers yesterday. And there's just a lot of belief that this economy is on fire at the moment. And if it's on fire with rapid growth, then the concern is, of course, big inflation. And that helps you if you're on benefits. So let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply the benchmark. Let's say it's 5%. That means your benefits step up another 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Oh boy, it's great news. Then if the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you're plus 2 plus 5%. They'll remove the asset cap. And then they're also going to remove other items, like they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't work and say that you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hand and some muddled. No, this is not muddled. Who dare call this muddled? This is beautifully purple. In your hand, some purple crayons in your hand. Then they're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away, and you'll be able to do a pair dance. And thank you for all the super chats recently. I'm really appreciating trying to get me to dance again. I can see it. You'll be able to dance or do a pair dance like Rob and Sandy at their own wedding. They'll no longer fear the marriage penalty. And if you were suffering the marriage penalty, your benefits will be restored. And that's fifth stimulus. There'll also be a fifth stimulus check in there. The Democratic House Ways and Means members represent for next year. Would not overlap with fourth. And also a lot of other exciting details. Finally, if you're in the live chat and you notice people who have a purple hawk emoji next to their name and you don't, what are you doing? Become a purple hawk right now. Over 200 people joined as a purple hawk just a few days ago in just 24 hours. People are joining in record speed because of the following. Every time there's a stimulus package, I've been saying, don't focus on the check, the stimulus check. Focus on the tens of thousands of dollars of other money that can be gotten from that package. And now the Purple Hawks are sitting pretty. In fall of 2020, there was a $600 stimulus check. I said, sure, $600, but I'm going to get you $6,000. I didn't. I got viewers $15,000, like Tyrona's family four out of Boston. And then when third stimulus passed, I said, sure, there's a $1,400 stimulus check. But I said, please focus more intently on the $14,000 I can get you. And the Purple Hawks focused. They understand, yeah, $1,400, but I want the $14,000. And what did they run with? They ran with it and got $27,000 for rent and $7,000 for utilities and $18,000 for SNAP and multiple sums of money of $32,000 and $50,000. They understood that these packages have fortunes in them. And by becoming a Purple Hawk, you get delivered daily from me from the community page on YouTube. In the late evening, a breakdown of all the big money for you to get. It's application based. I want you to get this big money. So become a Purple Hawk. Underneath the video, it says join here. And thank you for the nearly 200 people who are joining daily. And when fourth stimulus becomes law, you'll see even more of this money for you to get. And I'm going to go over that then. But we're starting now at the final 15 minutes, starting right now. And wow, let's start first with a recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. And this will enable you to get big sums of money like this again, not one time, again. What is recon? Well, recon is checks for the American people of all kinds, workers and seniors and everyone across the board. It's one of the biggest payouts we've ever seen in the history of this country in a generation. That's why Bernie Sanders celebrated the moment, said it was the ending of nearly a generation of him fighting to get you these checks. So you should be ecstatic. I'm ecstatic for you. And what's in this recon? We do not have the final language of the recon because we do not have bill yet, but we do have some of the provisions. And here we go. Checks for free school meals for all, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for immigration reforms, checks for charming, checks for elections, checks for free internet. They're going to provide free internet across the board. Checks for clean energy, checks for worker protections, checks for workers, and checks for seniors. Lots of checks for both of those. First, checks for workers, checks for collective bargaining, checks for independent contractors, checks for unions, and then big checks for seniors. Checks for seniors, checks for hearing care, checks for vision, checks for dental, checks for lowering eligibility age, and more. You should be ecstatic. And I am ecstatic for you because these are checks of all walks of life. This is the federal government. This is not the federal government where you tell them what type of check you want them to give you. They give you checks. And who cares? If it's $50,000 of bills you got sitting around the house and they're paying $50,000 of the bills, then you got $50,000 available for you to pay for other stuff. If they're paying $27,000 of your rent, then you don't have to pay the rent. Then suddenly you have $27,000 to go buy something else or pay the bills on something else. That's how financial freedom works. People alleviating your bills, and that's the real incredible excitement of $3.5 trillion of checks coming to pay your bills under the forced stimulus recon. All right, let's now cut then to the bipartisan, the roads and bridges. The bipartisan on Saturday will go for potentially a final bill vote. They've been having amendments on the bipartisan over the last few days. A series of bipartisan amendments were not able to pass, thank goodness. Some of them were trying to kill the bipartisan. You don't want that because you have to have the bipartisan approved to have your recon. And one of the big amendments that may still work, actually, is they're trying to put more money in there for veterans and changing the defense spending. So they want to put more money into something for that, for the infrastructure. The final vote potentially on the roads and bridges bipartisan could be Saturday. It was supposed to be Thursday night, but an elder senator unfortunately has recently passed, and all the senators are going to his funeral, which is either Friday or Saturday. I can't remember which day it is. So they could not continue the vote on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Now, obviously, as soon as I hear that and you hear that, you may immediately say, wait a second, I thought the recon goes for a vote first. I don't know what Schumer's doing. I'll be very frank. I'm a little bit confused. There is a difference between sending something from the Senate to the House than calling something for a vote in the Senate. Nancy's position is don't send it to me in the House. Don't send me in the House something from the Senate that is infrastructure first. You must send me the recon first. But does Nancy have a position as to what's something that's called for a vote first in the Senate versus another thing? I don't know. Schumer, the president, Bernie, Jollipaul, and Nancy all said that the recon would go first for a vote in the Senate. It looks like at the moment it's not going to. I don't know why. But that's not a concern for me. I'll tell you why. It's when it's sent to the House, not so much when it's passed on the Senate. Let me give you an example. Let's say the bipartisan passes on Saturday in the Senate. Then Schumer, even the Republicans, even Ted Cruz, all say that the recon will start working on immediately right after that. So just because the bipartisan goes first, potentially on Saturday, and becomes passed in the Senate, does not mean they're not doing the recon. Everyone said they're doing the recon right after that. It also doesn't mean that the bipartisan is sent to the House first. So that's an important distinction, and I hope I'm making that clear. The biggest concern was that they'd only do the bipartisan and not do the recon. That's number one. That's not happening. And number two, that they would only send to the House the bipartisan. They're not doing that either. That's not the case either. So we're good. In fact, everyone has your back on this, so I don't think it should be much of a concern, this voting order. I don't think it's a concern because even the president confirms that Jollipaul, Nancy, Chuck, and also Bernie. Let's go over some of the recent comments. The president said recently he's not going to just do bipartisan. He just won't. He said that if you send me the bipartisan first, I'm not doing it. If you send me, it should be maybe bipartisan only, I'm not doing it. He said, as of the bipartisan, if it only comes to me, and that's the only thing that comes to me, I'm not signing it. I mean, how clear can that be? That's the president. They have to come to me in tandem. Roads and bridges and the recon, your money. Then he also says, I'm not just signing the bipartisan and forgetting about the rest of what I propose, the recon. I propose a significant other piece of legislation, the recon, and they have to both come to me together. So that's great news. Then we have Bernie, who wants the recon to be sent to the House first. We have Chuck that says the recon is going to the House first. Is Chuck calling the vote on the bipartisan before the recon? Potentially, yes. That may look like what's going on. That's not a cause of concern. It's when things land in the House, which is the big cause of concern. Jalapal and Nancy confirm nothing is landing in the House first other than the recon. Nancy, as I said, there won't be a bipartisan unless we have the recon bill as well, plain and simple. In fact, I will use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan unless we have the recon bill passed by the United States Senate. One thing I've not clarified, which I'll add as well. If you were with me last year, remember when things were passed by Nancy and sent to Mitch, and he never would call for a vote, and they would just sort of die? Remember her Heroes Act? It would just sort of died in Mitch's dominion. Well, Nancy could do the same thing. If anyone would dare send her just the bipartisan, she'll just never call for a vote. She has the right to. She'll never call for a vote, and it'll never go anywhere because she'll say, "Where's my recon? I'm not calling your bipartisan for a vote. You have to send me the recon as well." And she has every right to do it, and she's going to get it. She will get away with it, and she has the right to do it, and she has your back on this. So no cause of concern about this at all. I want to make that very clear. Jalapal also says that the Democrats will not. Will all back Nancy. The Democrats have all said that the overwhelming majority of our caucus said they're not going to vote on the bipartisan unless we also have the recon. So basically, even though it's not going to happen, even if someone tried to send the bipartisan to the House without the recon pass, they're throwing the bipartisan in the garbage. They will, and no one has any say about it except one person, Nancy Pelosi. President can't oversee her, can undo it. Jalapal, Kevin McCarthy, no one has any authority to oversee or overdo what she does on that. All right, now let's cut back to the recon. Here's what you need to know about the recon. It is very likely that Sunday is going to start massive dramatics. Why? Because we're likely to see the recon as early as maybe Sunday in bill format on the Senate side. Here's what I need you to know about the debuting of the recon for us and also for Democrats before I get to the Republicans. The recon has been worked on in those subcommittees in the last few weeks. And those subcommittees are not a lot of people. It's just a few people. The House Ways and Means is not a lot of people. Guess what? Democratic House members and Democratic senators have said, when the recon debuts, I'm going to modify it because I've not had my hands on it. I'm going to modify it. This is great for us because this is what's important for you to remember, is that legislation gets changed. They add things in that's not in there. They modify it. They take it out. Let's say they don't have something in there. They can put it back in there. Let's say they have something in there. They can change the number of it or change the eligibility. And if there's any indication of how that works, it was what Representative Bush did this week with the eviction moratorium. We started the week with nothing, and we ended the week with exactly what you wanted. It got extended. So when we have a bill, it's not law yet. And in fact, the Democrats vowed to modify it, and they will modify it. Now let's turn to the Republicans. The Republicans are vowing to have massive amendments on the recon, and it'll start on the Senate side. That saves us a lot of time. So we're going to start on the Senate side for the vote-a-rama, which will go first on the recon. It will be about 2 days of nonstop battling. The great news is that the senators are very worn down. They tell us that they're worn down. They've been in session now in the Senate, the longest Senate session in almost 2 decades, and they have almost no energy left. And they've been working 16 hours straight. So this is not like a fresh group of young people that are going into a vote-a-rama ready to throw daggers at everyone. They are at their 11th hour, and they're just exhausted. So that helps us for the vote-a-rama for dealing with Republicans throwing amendments at us. Remember, whatever comes out of the Senate for the recon, that's not law either. So when it lands in the House, if the recon is still wrong, it will get modified. Remember, it was Democratic progressives who extended the eviction moratorium because of their House efforts this week. There was very few Senate progressives that did it. It was the House progressives. So the House progressives are the ones that are likely to give you the biggest payout. And so you have to stay on focus all throughout the push. And with that, I'll join you next on Evenings LA. There's a lot happening. You see I'm running along on time, so I'm going to wrap it up. But boy, there's a lot more breaking news tonight. Evenings LA will have more breaking news because trust me, there is a lot of moving parts. As I told you, this weekend is going to be big. Do not cash out and come back on Monday because it's going to be too much to catch up on. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto. It's going to be a big broadcast. Stay with on this video. It'll automatically take you there. You don't have to even lift a finger. Within 7 seconds after this video is over, it automatically takes you to Overnight's Crypto. Then at 5 o'clock is Evening's LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.